Do you love personal development, healing, growing yourself as much as I do? Is it borderline an addiction? Tell me this, how many personal development books do you have on your nightstand? I probably have at least 12. How many podcasts do you listen to every day? What's in your rotation? And are they about personal development? Okay, so if you're like me, in this episode, I'm going to talk about something that we don't talk about enough. And it's that fine line of where personal development actually turns into a form of self-abuse. I've had a huge realization on my healing journey in the last couple of weeks, and I want to share this realization with you and really ask you to be an accountability partner with me and to show up as your accountability partner so that we can go into the next phase of our healing in a new light. And instead of it being an addiction or a need or a striving, let's let it be a joy. So let's dive into the episode. I can't wait to hear what you think about this. Be sure to reach out to me on social media, Jasmine and Juniper Living on Instagram, Jasmine and Juniper on TikTok. I want to hear what you think about this concept and this little story I have to share. Welcome to Jasmine and Juniper, the podcast. On the show, we explore all the incredible tools I have gathered on my healing journey, from aromatherapy to finding your soul calling, and even starting a business that is perfectly aligned with your purpose. I am your host, Erin Fugate, wellness educator and success coach. Join me for your weekly dose of inspiration, personal development, and learning tools that may support you on your healing journey. Are you ready to be the leader of your destiny? Great. Let's dive into the show. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm so thrilled to be sharing this space with you today. And you're in for a special treat. It's a solo episode. And today I want to talk about something that is so very important, because I think it can be really easy for those of us that are on a healing journey. If we are trauma survivors, if we've had a difficult life, if you're listening to this podcast, you'll probably resonate. And it is the addiction to personal development. That feeling that we always need to get better. We always need to find the next healer or be in the next program or dissect our shortcomings. Maybe becoming a parent has triggered this within you, or maybe it's being a business owner has triggered it within you. And very possibly this is what it really has been for me. It's been all those things, but it's really been for me the suffering that I've experienced in my life, and assuming that suffering is probably my fault. And I have to change something about myself so I can end that suffering. And this has gotten me pretty far, definitely. The desire to end the suffering, the desire to change, and then the dedication to personal development, reading all the books, listening to all the podcasts, going to all the trainings, going to therapy, going to healers, going to doctors. Of course, it has helped. And I don't want to completely knock it, but it's a fine line where I can easily be in this state of mind where I think I'm broken, or I think there's something wrong with me and I need to fix it, or I'm trying to excavate some kind of disruption or disease or something inside of me that's wrong. And if I let that get too extreme, if I get too consumed in that, it actually has the opposite effect. I'm no longer healing, and instead I'm abusing myself. I'm re-inflicting myself with the same wound that got me to the suffering. And that wound is a voice, a part of me saying that I'm somehow not perfect just the way that I am. So this self-love journey, this practice of accepting that I am perfect just the way that I am and I actually don't need to be fixed, it requires attention. It requires that I constantly tune my frequency and my mindset to this very different way of thinking. Instead of looking at my life and thinking, how could I be better? Instead of looking at a project I've done and critiquing it and going, what's wrong with it? How could I make it better? I'm retraining my subconscious mind and my conscious mind to look at the things I do and look at my life and say, what did I do great? What am I great at? What's amazing about me? And this process of retuning the subconscious mind and playing with the mindset, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's not easy. And I have found that there's certain tools that I have to rely on. Things like meditation, breath work, journaling, oracle cards. I even have a cool device that tunes up my frequency. But one of my favorite tools is the combination of aromatherapy with affirmations and journaling and meditation. So I've put together a very special package for you where I line out 5 days of a daily aromatherapy ritual to help you retune, refocus yourself to honoring and accepting yourself just the way you are. I've made essential oil recommendations. If you don't have those essential oils, you can also swipe up in the show notes and grab them from my store. I hope that this tool helps you and that you begin to cultivate this daily practice of self-love. And more importantly, that together we can practice and learn how to reprogram our subconscious mind so we can have greater success at the simple act, yet sometimes seems hard, of loving ourselves. So I'll put all that information in the show notes. Just grab it, or you can always visit jasmineandjuniper.com/connect to get access to all my offerings. Okay, let's get back to the show. So after years and years and years, over 14 years of personal development and healing and working on myself and making changes and dealing with my childhood trauma, I have finally come to a place where I understand that the most radical form of self-development, of healing that I can do is the knowing and the acceptance and the honoring of the fact that there's actually nothing wrong with me. There's actually nothing to fix. There's only a person that needs love. There's only me that needs to be accepted just the way that I am. And of course, I can have awareness and I can read books that are helpful and I can listen to podcasts that are helpful. I can work with healers that are helpful. But as long as I'm working from that foundation of I love and accept myself just as I am, and there's actually nothing wrong with me. So I want to tell you this little story. I have just gotten out of 30 days working with Maria Jansen. I had her on the podcast a couple episodes ago. Go check her out. She's a rapid transformational coach, and she uses a lot of modalities. Hypnosis is one of them. So I went to her because I wanted to work on anxiety. Anxiety is something I deal with. I've used many tools. I feel like I've gotten a handle on it. I kind of know how to manage it and live with it. But becoming a mom, then becoming a mom again, living through a pandemic, living through a fire that completely decimated my town, and kind of uncovering new levels of healing that I engaged in, it just took my anxiety to
it spiked my anxiety. So I went to Maria for help with that. And through working with her, we got really, really deep to some root memories that created this belief inside of me that my needs weren't important. And I therefore had to overcompensate, be a people pleaser, be codependent, be a workaholic, prove myself, and have this level of hypervigilance, this level of anxiety to make sure that I was good enough, being a good girl, being responsible enough, that it caused this anxiety inside of me. And through doing that work, I was able to kind of excavate that part of myself and reinstill a belief system that my needs are important. I am loved and I can care for myself and I can love myself. And I kind of was able to rewrite that childhood experience. So it's been a bit of a rebirth for me. Maria referred to it as I birthed myself, my new self. And in fact, I was at an event the other night where we did a full moon kind of letting go ceremony where I wrote something down that I wanted to let go. And what I decided to write down on that piece of paper was, I'm letting go of the old me and I'm reborn as this person, as this being, as this child, infant, now adult, now mother, individual that sees that there's nothing wrong with her. She's perfect just the way that she is. And what's been so interesting to watch this is the cascade of events that happen from changing this fundamental belief. Now, when I engage in personal development, or I engage with a healer, or I engage with a coach or a training or an event, my barometer is, does this experience affirm my worth and my value and my perfection as I am? And if it doesn't, it's a no for me. I have been able to reattune to an inner compass system that I have not been accessing for most of my life, and it feels so good. So, as you maybe can tell, things are a little different, and I think things are going to change a bit on my podcast here. I promise to always be transparent with you, to bring you aspects of my healing journey, to bring interviews with people that I think can help you on your healing journey, and to bring you resources and tools. But let's make a deal. We are always going to remind each other that we are perfect just the way we are, and we don't need to be fixed. There's nothing wrong with us. We are not broken. We are beautiful, divine expressions, human beings, and we have this beautiful brain that sometimes needs a little extra programming or reprogramming so that we can just remember that simple truth. You are perfect just the way you are. You are loved. Your needs are important. You do not have to prove anything to anyone. You do not have to fix yourself. You do not have to change. Your only assignment today is to love yourself and accept yourself the way you are. So I appreciate you all so very much. Thank you for tuning into the podcast. If this resonated, please share it with someone. You know the drill. I'll catch you next time. Thank you so much for listening to the show today. Did you think of someone that really needs to hear this episode? If you did, please screenshot and share this on social media. Tag me at Jasmine and Juniper Living on Instagram. I would love to hear from you. And please, please, please leave us a review and rating on Apple. This is how more people find our beautiful show. Let your light shine today, friend. The world needs it.